Hello, again, and welcome. I'm joined by Shaun,
Hi.
my fellow friend and DM of the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition world, and we're going to discuss a topic. We're going to discuss inspiration. Like when to give inspiration. We're both dungeon masters, we're quite new to the game, but we thought it'd be quite interesting to, just chew the fat on when we think it's a good idea to give players inspiration and when what we're not looking for in things like that. So what do you reckon, Shaun?
Well, inspiration's it's a optional rule, isn't it? It's a variant.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give inspiration. You don't have to give advantage for.
In my experience though, because when I started my campaign, everyone was brand new to D&D basically. And I felt like it helped a lot to just put people on the right path of, like when people, asked the right questions, they started interacting with NPCs the way they should. It's not like the way they should, but the way it was intended to be interacted with, the way, I'd written it or the way you written it. Yeah, exactly. And like the atmosphere you're trying to create, I feel like it helps to reward people for behaviors that you want to see more of.
Yeah, 100%. The reason that I dislike inspiration is because there are some people can be really good at roleplay, and others no.
Yeah, it's not all roleplay based. Like if a player basically is presented with a difficult combat situation, basically, and they come up with a creative idea to get out of that.
Yeah, I think they should get inspiration.
Yeah, exactly. I won't
100%.
I won't always give it to them because it won't always occur to me to give it to them because I'm not the most attentive DM and I won't think, oh, that was a really good idea.
And the thing is as well, the second time that they do that creative thing.
Yeah.
Do you award inspiration? Do you award inspiration the second time they do the weird creative thing that?
Well, for me,
they did the first time. Like the first time when you go, like it made you go, wow, yeah, like that's awesome. Then they do it the second time. Is that worth inspiration? That's just the thing.
It's a really
that
good question. Last time. But I think, like the first time, because that was like an inspired and original thought that they had, like in the moment, and it made sense to the situation then. But if they repeat that, and you feel like they're expecting to get inspiration for it, then you wouldn't give it to them because
that is exactly what I'm thinking of. Like
because that's not what the idea of inspiration's about.
Inspiration farming.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Yeah. Like it's like my DM liked this. Maybe I could get I'll definitely get inspiration if I do this in this situation.
Yeah, I can understand why some DMs don't like to use inspiration because there's a lot of pitfalls with it. Like, some players will naturally be very good at role playing and interacting with the world that you set out, and they will, if you follow the same rules as everybody else, they will just get inspiration all the time. But like someone who's a bit of an introvert and they
can't stack.
Yeah, that's it. And someone who's like introverted and they don't really like to, interact with the DM as like NPCs and like play the different characters that they play. But when they do that, you give them inspiration immediately just to reward them. Like it creates a bit of an imbalance between the people who are good at it and the people who aren't.
Yeah.
So,
and then the people that are good at it are going, why am I not getting inspiration for this specific thing that
is I'm role playing all the time. Why am I getting inspiration all the time?
I'm player A. Well, player B just did the thing that I do all the time, but they got inspiration for it. And so that it's difficult. The thing that I introduced in my campaign, which is totally just testing it, and I'm not sure if I like it or not. I'm not sure how anybody feels about it.
I really like the idea of it.
Well, just to lay the idea out first is that it's at level up, you get 3 tokens out of a bag, and
they're randomly chosen from this like bag of mixed outcomes.
This
Basically,
bag it is a literal physical bag of lolly sticks, and they can range from advantage to, like, the scale is at the top advantage, second is +3, then it's +1, then it's disadvantage.
and just to clarify, you can use the disadvantages on the DM's rolls.
Yeah, you can use all of them on any roll, and you can use everyone can use their inspiration stick on anyone, on any roll, on any D20 roll.
So, for example, if, say, one of my fellow players, as I'm a player in Shaun's campaign, was making an attack roll and they rolled a 14 on something that we know has got an AC of 15, I could use a +1 to boost their attack roll up to a 15 so that they would hit it. But then I would have had to spend one of my 3 inspiration sticks to make that thing. I think it's a really good idea, and I think it is working so far.
But so far it is working, but there's no reward for good role play and things like that.
That's what I mean. I don't think it's whether like the mechanics is like whatever you came up with in the first place, whatever you had in mind. I don't know whether it's what you intended, like the way we're using them.
The difference from the inspiration that I'm using isn't something that I've come up with either necessarily, but because I'm sure it exists already. But it isn't the addition of the sticks that's the game changer. It's that anyone on any D20 roll at any time can use their stick. Anyone and or everyone. So let's say someone rolls an 8 to hit a DC 18.
Well, let's change that. Say there's some like really high pressure roleplay situation where we need to convince an NPC of something, and somebody's persuasion roll is terrible. We can all chuck all our sticks in all at once to make that roll.
Each person when they level up gets 3 of these inspiration sticks.
Yeah, say my character Lester's got a 2 + 3s and a +1. That's like +7 straight away. And then, Coric can add his, +4s, like, and his advantage, and then they can roll again, and then I'll add all those to that. How does that work exactly? Sorry.
If each of you had an advantage.
No, but if I add it, what? So it's just the advantage is basically just another roll of the D20.
It makes roll again, take highest.
Okay.
That's advantage.
Yeah, excuses while we figure out the rules, but that does make sense.
Because this is this is a homebrew rule.
Yeah.
So it's fair enough that
Yeah, I like it. It's like I like the fact that you've kind of took the inspiration token and split it up into more, like you can use it. You've got more opportunities to use these inspiration things.
Now it's a resource.
Yeah.
That you use instead of requiring good roleplay. And I think it's important to also have people that you can rely on. They'll do good roleplay anyway. Which, with the group that we've got, I don't expect low effort. I don't expect low.
Yeah, it's not really a problem.
Yeah, everyone is invested.
Yeah, exactly.
In the game, because that's why we show up here. We've been friends for a long time, and we play this game. It might be different. This probably might not work with if you're playing with people that you don't know, or something like that.
Yeah, so if you
from my table, and the people that I've got at my table, I'm absolutely happy having this variant rule, because I think that all these people are going to get inspiration eventually anyway. Might as well give them 3 per level.
I want to give you a bit of a devil's advocate argument now. Say my character Lester was interacting with an NPC, and I was trying to persuade them of something, and I rolled a persuasion roll that wasn't adequate for the DC that you'd set in the first place, and then because one of my fellow players realised that it was quite a vital roll to get right, they added it in. Like, they contributed one of their +3s or an advantage or something to make me pass this DC. How does that work out in a roleplay setting? Like, it's not really me that's convinced that person. It's just because, they've boosted me up. It doesn't really add to the roleplay at all. It's just a mechanical thing.
I see what you're saying, but it is that anyway. It's that... That's a meta observation.
Yeah, but
that you're making that isn't... It's not relevant because all the dice rolls are relevant in that exact way.
No, but when you look at it, whatever I've said to that NPC in the first place, that roll represents how convincing my words were to that NPC. And if they weren't convincing enough, if I didn't meet the DC that you'd set in the first place, how would somebody else just throwing a stick at my character or like boosting him up through some other means? Like, how does that work out in a roleplay sense, if you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me.
It's not that there's a thing that they do that the other character does that assists you. Maybe there is. Maybe it's like the help action. What it is
yeah, okay. It's like you can help a bit, or you can help a lot, or you can help justifying.
It's only like justifying advantage of how exactly do you get to try again with the lucky feat or with
yeah, but that's kind of
luck.
Yeah, that
like,
when you just spend your luck points.
How does that work? It's just luck. You just get to roll again. Some things are completely mechanical that they don't need to be explained in the actual game, in the narrative. And I think that's one of those things of...
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
This doesn't need to be
explained.
The
game is a game at the end of the day.
That's just an add to... If you don't want to fail this check and you're saying... So you say to this shopkeeper that you want a reduced price and you don't hit his DC 10...
like negotiation stats.
Yeah, you don't hit his DC 10 persuasion.
Yeah.
And you get like a 7.
And someone just will give you a
Everyone
+3.
starts chucking the +1s at you because they really want this item at a reduced price.
But ideally what you do then is say, everyone just like, say Lester says, how about we have it for 50 gold rather than 60? And then he's like, no chance, because I rolled a 7. And then everyone else who throws the sticks in, they go, actually, it's got a slight little bit of scratch on it there. And then like they say, it's not what it looks like in the catalogue.
No, because before the response,
and then that goes on to convince the NPC.
Before the response, the inspiration sticks would have to be used.
What, before the response? Yeah, but how would we know to use them if we didn't already know that the roll would have failed? What you mean, because it's a 7 rather than
gotta risk it.
11?
Gotta risk it. And do you want to add 3 to a 7, or do you want to add 1 to a 7? Do you want to waste that? At the end of the day, you only get them at every level up. These are a rare resource.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That you can use these in combat. If you want to use them on the shopkeeper, man, you use them on the shopkeeper. You use all of your stuff on the shopkeeper. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, but when a dragon's chewing your face off in the future and you've got no sticks left...
that could have helped you if you just missed it. So it's one of those that's... Yeah, man, use whatever you want. Everyone compile all of their resources so you can have...
Is that extra tasty breakfast coming in handy now?
There's 4 of us. If every worst case scenario, everybody would have a +1 inspiration stick. That's the lowest inspiration stick that you can draw from the bag.
So everybody will have
plus
3
1,
plus
3
ones.
advantage.
Just out of curiosity, is there enough in the bag for everyone to have 3 plus 1s?
Yes, 100%. There's loads.
Okay, is there enough for everyone to have 3 of everything?
No.
Okay, so some are more
There's
rare
a rarity.
than others.
There's a rarity in the bag.
So I'm guessing advantage is the most rare.
Disadvantage is the most rare because you can apply disadvantage to any roll.
Okay.
Including rolls that the DM makes.
Yeah, I can see why that would be
Which is
quite powerful.
You wouldn't use advantage on something that the DM makes. So disadvantage is the rarest. Only slightly more than
I feel like
advantage.
I've just seen a bit of a loophole in your logic here.
Alright.
Say one of my fellow players is combat, and for some reason I wanted them to die. I could give you all my 3 plus 3 sticks and cause you to hit them.
Yeah.
Can you give plus 3s to... Is it only D20 rolls it applies to?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So no damage rolls or anything like that.
No, you can't add it to damage.
So I couldn't give you like
No.
plus 9 to damage.
Just like
straight
inspiration.
off the bat. Right, okay.
In the exact same way as inspiration. You can't add inspiration to damage.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way I could do this secretively and just say, you know, I want you to hit him. Or I want you to, you know...
There could be a situation.
I want this
there could be a situation
character to succeed in his insight roll against, you know, whoever my other player is. Or against me.
You could use it. You could use it and give inspiration sticks to the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Why? Not sure. It'd be very situational, but yeah.
Well,
totally.
the DM's not always against you. You know what I mean? The DM's rolls are just rolls sometimes, and sometimes you want them to succeed, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. Well, that's a
What about DMPCs? Sometimes you're traveling with characters that the DM controls. Maybe sometimes you want them to succeed.
That's no different.
So you can make their rolls better as well.
Well, that's no different to a goblin. That's no different to any kind of creature.
Yeah, I agree.
The DM's controls.
Yeah, it's interesting to think on, though.
There's no reason that... you could give... It's any D20 roll. That's the way that the inspiration sticks work. And what I like about them is that all of them can be compiled. So the inspiration is not yours alone. It can be... we're all jumping over this broken bridge.
Yeah.
And I made it with 17. And then the next person made it with 15. The next person rolled 13. I don't know if they're going to make it. Maybe I'll give them my +1. Because maybe it's a DC 14. Maybe it's a DC 15. Maybe someone else will go, no, I want them to make it. Also, those aren't the only ways to make that person make it.
Yeah.
You can...
Yeah, I don't know.
You can build a bridge. You can grab that person. You can cast Gust and blow them across the gap. You can... There's so many options already that are outside of, like... There's a lot of in-game options that are outside of this variant rule of inspiration. You know what I mean? This is just extra pluses.
Yeah, I agree. I quite like the idea of it. I don't know, it's just the whole, like, the way I use inspiration is just like I kind of use it flippantly, almost. It's like when I know someone's not got inspiration, I'm kind of looking for them, for a reason to give them inspiration. Because it makes... It's more to do with the rewarding of it, rather than the actual mechanic itself. It's like... If you do something really cool in combat, for example, when your Jerome and the party were in the Dwarven Vault, and you climbed
Spoilers.
up, yeah, spoilers for the Azorian Nightmares campaign. you climbed up the back of that construct and you threw your water skin in, and you didn't know what that ring was, and you pointed that ring at it and you focused all your magical energy on it as hard as you could, and nothing happened.
Amazingly, nothing happened.
I gave you inspiration for that just because the idea was so good.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, you have no idea what this ring does, and you've just tried something. You've tried something that you thought might have done something.
Creative. It was never going to work, but it was creative. Like,
exactly.
I didn't know what the ring did.
And it's like a reward for that. But like, when you do it every level up, it's just like, once you've used those 3 sticks, you're just like, oh, next time I level up, I'm going to get these things that I can just use them again.
I see what you're saying.
It's not like you're playing any better or any worse. It's just like, I'll just use them when I need to. It's like, I used all my sticks on the first... I don't know if this is spoilers for your campaign, but...
It's not.
We were in like a big sprawling market in the middle of Nevermere, and...
in Trade Wall.
Yeah, and Delilah's player had disappeared from the table for for an hour or so. So we decided to put on a bit of a circus performance. So I basically used all my inspiration sticks to get, this circus performance to succeed, so that we can make a bit of coin. And then we'd literally just got them that session as well. So then the rest of the time before we leveled up, I had no sticks at all. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's just me thinking like they haven't really got that much weight. I'd rather just rely on the dice and my ability modifiers, or my character's ability modifiers.
The thing is that like with inspiration, because it's situational, it's very difficult to, like, you as a player, Scully, would get inspiration for different things than something that Johnny would.
Yeah.
And that already creates this juxtaposition of where is the line? Where is the line of good play?
Yeah, but
we're now rewarding good play with inspiration, whereas there are all sorts of different types of play. Your good play is obviously different to Johnny's good play, or like Eve's good play is different to Erla's good play to be cross campaign.
But in my opinion, that's exactly why you should have it situational. Because if I see, like that example that I've just given about the construct in the Dwarven Mine, the ring of that you now know to be water walking, and the attempt that you made to do something with that, like that for you was creative because you'd never done anything like that before. Like that was a really thinking outside the box moment for you. And in the same way, I wouldn't give Leanne or Yaneth's character inspiration for just firing her bow and dealing a lot of damage, because she does that all the time. What I would give her inspiration for is just speaking to an NPC in character for more than 1 minute at a time, because that's what she doesn't do very well. Like, if I encourage that, I feel like it can make the game better for everybody. I'm not saying that you don't think outside the box in combat a lot, because you do.
What I'm saying is, so do I then make it more difficult for myself to get inspiration, because thinking outside the box in this way is now my,
But this is the difference.
My tier of getting. I want to put it out there as well. I'm not against the original rules for inspiration.
I still don't know whether I'm for it or not. But it does feel good giving people inspiration.
I really like that, and I miss that. But what I like as a counter is that all the inspirations that I give every level in my campaign are can be used collectively.
Yeah.
Like, they can be interchangeable. I mean, you could totally just say also inspiration is interchangeable. You could use the normal rules and say, oh, it can work on any roll. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you give me...
So just a normal inspiration token, you just said you can have advantage on your roll.
Yeah, if you as DM give inspiration to Jerome can use it on anyone else. I guess that's the same.
Yeah.
That's the part that I really like about the inspiration sticks.
Well, maybe that's the solution then.
It might be, but I just really like that it's a resource as well. Like, that it's something that you can use whenever, and all of you can use it on one roll, but you get 3 per level, and that's it.
I like both ways. I honestly do. I think they both got the merits. They both got the detriments.
The thing I miss is, yes, rewarding good play.
I'll give you.
There should be something to reward good play, and that is what inspiration is. I think the inspiration should. It's so powerful. It should also be a resource. I think there's like, if there was a middle ground though, it would be too powerful. Is what I think. I think if you had a middle ground of giving people three draws from the magic bag of
tokens of inspiration.
Inspiration, some of
to
them
use
can
on
be
anybody's
advantage, some of them can be disadvantage on any roll, and some of them could be +3, some of them could be +1. Then adding inspiration to that as well. I'm sort of just riding this out. We're about 9-10 sessions into mine. I'm sort of just riding this wave of, does this work better? I'm not an advocate for this of, like, in the sense of, I am 100% sure this is better. I just like to try something different. Do you know what I mean? I think that in your campaign, using the normal inspiration rules is working awesome.
I'll give you another example as to why I like the traditional reward on when you think as a DM. Do you remember when the party were in Earthguard and you'd overtaken Rusnak's mansion and you were attacked by that?
Spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, and more spoilers. Loads of heavy spoilers for the Azorian Nightmares campaign, because this is quite far in. When you stayed overnight in Rusnak's mansion in Earthguard, and after that whole conflict had resolved itself, after that thing came for Jerome, and Jerome just tried to go and bury himself in the bed, and Ronan just went over and ripped the cover off and said, "Right, bitch, what's going on?" And you had that whole roleplay between each other, and he just dragged the details out of you without, like, it was just such a good roleplay moment, and I felt so happy about that, because without any prompting from me, you know, like, Ronan's, like, the player of Ronan, Johnny, felt like you'd put him in jeopardy, and he didn't know why, and he really wanted to know what the story was behind that, and he just pushed the issue, and you told him, like, what he wanted to know.
Yeah.
It was a really good interaction, and I just flicked you both an inspiration token and said that was absolutely fantastic. Like, that's what I was looking for, and he made me. That was one of them, what we were talking about before, that little warmth inside.
Yeah,
moments.
Makes you feel warm in the middle.
I just felt so good. It's like, that's exactly what I'm looking for in this campaign. So I gave you both an inspiration token, and you felt good because I gave you inspiration because of that little interaction. You know what I mean? It's like we feeding back. It's a bit of a feedback loop, and like, that's what I'm looking for. Those moments when people are into the game.
No, you're right.
Whether it be combat, whether it be, you know, role play, whether it be, you know, exploration, or, you know, thinking outside the box. Like, you've got to look for those opportunities and reward people when they take them. And players have got to look for those opportunities, and the DM has as well. Like I say, there's times when I could have given people inspiration. I probably should have given people inspiration when I haven't. There's times when I have given inspiration. It's like when I gave Yaneth inspiration for killing a fly one day, because I'd had too many to drink. So it's like, Fly was annoying me. She killed it in the real world, so I gave her an inspiration token.
Absolutely. No, that's worth it. No one will fucking put you down for that.
But you know what I mean? It's like you got to use it in the correct way.
No, yeah, you're
and
right.
I think that
you're
is.
Right, though, and that's the
I'm not
side
saying
of the
it's
coin.
better than the way you're using. I'm just saying I really like the way that's
I'm only trying
out.
variant. It's not that I disagree, and the way that you put it, to be honest, it makes me feel warm in the middle. I've received, I remember the times that I've got it. I remember the times that I've given it before this, you know what I mean? Like, before I started my campaign with these with these homebrew rules. It's much better. A reward system is better. It just is.
It's
like
just
rewarding people for things.
So let's summarize like this. It's good to have a mechanic where you can give people an extra something to their roles, but it's hard to stipulate when that reward should be received and whether it's game breaking or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, whether it's game breaking or not, I think the main thing is
in terms of roleplay.
Obviously, look at your table. It's your table.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You know your table. The thing with me and you is we have very similar tables.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We have.
Well, the only difference is you.
We have an exchange of. The DM is now a player, like with our tables.
Yeah, the only difference, to put this into context, is that in Shaun's campaign, I'm a player, and in my campaign, Shaun's a player.
Yeah. Player.
So that's why we're having this discussion.
But I think that, obviously, both have their merits. I don't think that that's what's under question in this. But I think that the conclusion that we come to is that the merits are so strong for either. Maybe there's a middle ground that someone else can come up with, that you can use at your table. I'm not going to use it at mine because I like my table to be different from Scoy's table.
And I agree.
And that's why it's sort of this. Like, you use the inspiration rules. They work, man. They really do work. I want to change that, not because it's bad. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's not my methodology at all. It ain't broke, but
here's
what
something
if?
new. Yeah.
But what if this?
Well,
what if
you
this
presented
does?
like us players with a new opportunity to use inspiration in a different way. And you presented it in a different way, which is refreshing. Like
It can also. Don't get me wrong.
Can I also mention that
taken back?
Just holding the sticks and like cashing them in is really satisfying.
That's cool, isn't it? Like that is cool.
Like you've got like 2+3s and an advantage there. You think like you're always looking out for that roll that you could just use them on and like change the course of the game or like really make a difference. Like I said, I've wasted a lot of them so far, like, doing flips through hoops and stupid stuff like that with my little monk character.
That's the beauty of it, because it's a resource. Yeah. It's just like, you can spend a level 3 spell slot casting Major Illusion
but that's
before a big battle, if you want to do that. Do you know what I mean? You can totally do that. You can spend it whenever you want.
But like I say, it's all contextual. Like, if... I felt like it was quite important at the time because my character was literally had 0 money. I had 0 copper, gold, or silver, or electrum, or platinum. I had 0 coins, so I was just like, I need to make some money right now, so I'm going to spend all my tokens, do some mad acrobatics, and try and get some money out. Which I did. You guys
sort of made your own circus,
and it did succeed. Thanks to the sticks, because like some of the rolls were like a bit, but some of them were really good because I've got like good bonuses and the stuff I was trying to do. But I've spent them all on that one little performance while Nat was out.
And then there were
Nat
combats.
Was out at work.
There were combats later.
Yeah, that we could have used.
Not in that session. Not in that session, but in
like before the next level up that I didn't have any sticks
before
for.
You leveled up, that you might have been thinking, maybe I should have saved those. But at the end of the day, those
like
sticks,
say, like
those
as a
sticks-
monk, if I'm using flurry of blows and missing twice by 1 each time, like I could have just used the +1
but those
each time to hit
sticks-
both of those
Those
types.
sticks assisted you in making money and doing that little circus routine that you did
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the trade ball.
Like I say, it's a completely different thing. Where it's just like you get the inspiration token, you say that roll didn't go as I wanted. I'll spend this.
And this is the thing.
I roll it again.
This is the thing as well.
And then it's gone. You know what I mean?
I'm just winging it. I'm a new DM as well, and I'm just trying things. And if it doesn't work, if this starts not working, this like variant homebrew rule
Can I
of
stop you?
inspiration.
There's no way I can see of this not working. I don't know what you mean by not working, because there's no way it can not work.
If it can
Because
be,
it does work.
if it can be worse than giving inspiration, like there are these facets of not being able to reward people for good play.
But that's the beauty of this discussion. It's all about interpretation. Right, we'll boil it down to this. Your version of it is more mechanical, and the way I used obviously the classical rules of inspiration that I just used because that was already written is it's more like impulse based. None of them have a true ruling as to which is better or which is worse.
I think mine is more, let's reward everyone
and then see how they
For
use
just-
that reward. Yeah.
for just being here. Like, here's your inspiration sticks. There is endorphin release in there for dipping in the bag.
I do like that.
We'll have pics of the bag.
Apart
Well,
from
pictures of
last
the bag and
time
stuff.
when he was, I don't know, Shaun had a bit too much to drink last time we played, and
Wait.
we'd leveled up at the end of the session, and he passed the bag around.
Oh, mistakes were made.
We picked the sticks out. Everyone was quite happy about it, and then
Everyone.
about 10 minutes later, he'd forgot that he told us we'd leveled up and told us to give all the sticks back, and then it led to a big fight between him and Johnny, and then
It wasn't a big fight.
oh, it was big enough. Johnny didn't give his sticks back. I did. Just because I picked terrible
man.
ones. But
Inspiration. Oh wait, that doesn't exist.
I'm gonna have 4 now. Come on, 4 of this level up because I gave him back.
You can have inspiration for that.
I got 3.
your
I
own-
got 3 plus ones.
In your own campaign, you can have inspiration.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. I hope you just found this discussion useful. I found it really useful actually. I've learned a lot.
I thought it was brilliant.
So yeah,
What? Oh, y'all think?
fuck all y'alls. All right, take it easy. Bye now.
Bye now.